This is climate change.
There is a chance this area will flood from the rising river levels. Even if it doesn't, it will be a nightmare and it will continue to get wet, get muddy, be really difficult for the people living in this community to make it through this next storm. So do everything you can to kind of pack up and get prepared. And it's going to be really windy on Monday. You have all day tomorrow, Saturday, to get ready. All right, so if you're just watching this video, I was just warning 200 or 400 homeless people that live in this homeless encampment in the Benchlands next to the Santa Cruz County building, which is near San Lorenzo Park and the San Lorenzo River. There is a chance this area will flood from the rising river levels. Even if it doesn't, it will be a nightmare and it will continue to get wet, get muddy, be really difficult for the people living in this community to make it through this next storm. I will be trying to get some volunteers together later tonight and tomorrow. We'll be passing out trash bag rain jackets to the homeless people throughout Santa Cruz County. Not only will it be raining, it will be windy, but temperatures will also be low. It'll be cold. So there is a huge chance of hypothermia. And the announcement that I just made with my megaphone was just to help warn or prepare some of them, because likely no one else is, you know. Hello everyone. My name is Alex Londos. I am an environmental activist, humanitarian, photojournalist, and I often take on homeless outreach projects. So tonight I'm going to drive around distributing trash bag rain jackets to some of the homeless people in my community. I'm doing this project because it's a humanitarian crisis of homelessness throughout California, Northern California, Oregon, Washington, and the homeless people, it doesn't matter. They shouldn't have to suffer. They don't need to suffer. So I'm doing this project to help alleviate suffering. I'm going to do it as safely and cautiously as possible. So I do have a lot of prepared trash bag rain jackets that I will be distributing. And I'll be driving down street after street, getting these out, again, to the homeless people in my community. So I have everything situated here: megaphone, car, camera, Facebook Live, of course. I'd be bored and lonely if I did this video without you, so thanks for watching. Want to say it? No, okay. Not on video. She said, help us. Yeah, it's pretty horrible down here. Just want to see how close the river is. Looks like it's about 2.5 feet from breaching into this encampment. Horrible out here. If you're curious, I do have a full body hazmat suit and rain boots. This is a really exclusive video of the Benchlands homeless encampment near the San Lorenzo Park and the San Lorenzo River in Santa Cruz, California. This shows how horrible and difficult things are for the people here. Thankfully, the river has not crested into this encampment, although of course from the downpour, the ground is completely saturated and now mud. Conditions down here are very difficult. If you can, go through your closet, your spare bedroom, your extra vehicle, and get some extra blankets you might have, some warm clothes, some socks, and bring it down to the people affected by this atmospheric river. I heard everybody has been relocated to the lower level of the parking garage near Wells Fargo. And there are some aid organizations in that parking garage providing a variety of needs, humanitarian aid and resources. This is actually the first time that I've ever been down here, other than stopping by the edge to drop off some resources. I've never been down here before. Unfortunately, some of the people watching this video may have some family, some friends, old friends, or loved ones that may be homeless and even living in this encampment. It's horrible in this area, the living conditions and just what everyone went through over the last 24 hours in preparation for the atmospheric river that made landfall in California. Again, my name is Alex Londos. I'm bringing to you this exclusive video of the Benchlands homeless encampment in Santa Cruz, California.
Before you forehead, my mate. Take pictures of your face.
That's why I pointed the camera away from you.
Right, lady. This is where I put it, yeah?
This is what, yes, correct. Yes.
What do you do to watch it again?
You would go to my Facebook page if you were curious about the video. I'm broadcasting through Facebook Live. But
You tweeted on the video and started being chunked.
oh no, I didn't film you the whole time. I was filming towards the right because I'm trying to avoid getting people's faces in the video. So anyways, this is the situation in the Benchlands homeless community. As you can see, it's been very difficult for the people in this community over the last 24 hours since the storm began. Well, I guess it started. So I was in San Jose. I don't know when the rain actually started to arrive in this area. I'm assuming sometime earlier today. Again, I am trying to avoid getting people's faces in this video. So there are some people in this encampment. just showing everyone what it's like here, how horrible it is, how difficult it is. And if you're curious, I heard some aid groups and humanitarians are providing aid. In the parking garage next to Wells Fargo. So if you'd like to donate some supplies, volunteer, or help out in some way, I'd recommend first stopping at the parking garage. COVID safe, of course. PPE, face mask, gloves, hand sanitizer, all of that, and maybe find a way that you can help the people affected by this atmospheric river. So again, I am trying to avoid getting people's faces in this video, but I do want to show the viewers what it's like here. The river, to the best of my knowledge, has not crested into the Benchlands homeless encampment, but it is very close. You can see the river is rising. Unfortunately, it still has the chance to flood this area because the data collected from Felton Grove at Big Creek showed a spike about a half an hour ago, and then it started to decline. That spike could be delayed from this location, and in another half an hour, a few hours from that point, the water, or the large volume of water, could continue flooding or flowing downhill to reach this location. So I think there's still the chance of it flooding from that rain event, or even the rain that will precede the break in the weather now. If you are watching this video and you're curious, yes, I have a full bodysuit, PPE, gloves, boots, and all the necessary equipment. I will decontaminate once I leave this area. You can see the river is flooding through this section. Do you know if the river is increasing or decreasing at this point?
Well, it's increasing rapidly.
It's what? Increasing?
Yeah, I mean, 15 minutes ago, I didn't have any water in my camp.
Thank you for that information. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully you got all the important stuff out. Anything valuable or... And safely, yeah. But... yeah, so the main concern, I think, is not getting too wet to where you're going to get sick and cold, because...
What I don't understand is why don't we warn up here?
So the county didn't warn anybody, but this morning, was it yesterday? Do you remember the megaphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was me on the bridge warning that it was going to flood, but I went around for 3 or 4 hours warning people everywhere, but I also am the guy that passed out those 70 trash bag rain jackets to people, but I couldn't warn everybody here because I was warning people in San Jose too, and I stayed up until 6 in the morning that night. So I guess I did my best, but yeah, thank you. I just would, maybe I should have came down here with the megaphone and been more clear. I didn't focus on, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it was a serious storm. It's just, yeah, I mean, the county only knows so much, the government only knows so much, everybody only knows so much, but this is what I study in school. It could flood because of the rain later tonight, but also because the flood gauge in Felton Grove just peaked about a half an hour ago, and it went up and then it peaked. So all of that water up there is likely still coming down because it's, you know, what, 10 miles, 20 miles, it takes time for it to come down. So the increase we're seeing right here could be, because it's, even if it's not raining here, you know, it has to do with the whole watershed of the valley that is coming down. But thankfully, once that peak occurs in this area,
That's the tide's going out right now.
yeah, yeah. So you gotta move there after going through a disaster and then move back within a short amount of time. But that's still so stupid. Yeah, it's just, so you gotta do all this work. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for that information. So the police are telling people if they move from here up to there, they then have to be moved from there by 8 o'clock tonight. So it doesn't make, so they're all obviously struggling and suffering, and then they move up here, but then they have to, after being cold, wet, tired, and confused and sad, they just lost a whole bunch of stuff. Then they got to move out of this area to somewhere else. So obviously the system is broken. And so this is the current situation here in the Benchlands homeless encampment. I'm gonna get some quick video, and then right now conditions are sufficient to fly my drone, so I may go launch my drone to get some footage for the news stations. I am finding out a lot of information from yes, correct. Sorry, it's shaky. So people are not evacuating, and I'm gonna double check. How horrible it is down here for the people. This is the first time Santa Cruz now has climate victims or climate refugees. The situation is horrible down here. And from what I just heard, the water level is still rising. There's someone in this tent that is not evacuating. I'm going to go ahead and get a different angle. Again, I'm an international photojournalist and bringing you this report live. If you have any warm blankets, sweatshirts, clean socks, any supplies that you think would help the people affected by this disaster, please bring them to or near this location or the lower level of the parking garage, the 3 or 4 story parking garage next to Wells Fargo, at some sort of staging area for the homeless people affected by this. Yeah, sorry about that. Try not to get your face in the video.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll leave it.
international photojournalist and reporter. I'm the owner of Advanced Disaster Relief.
You guys okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You guys okay? Oh, you just went through a crazy hurricane.
Wow.
Been out here doing journalism work. Aside from just documenting this horrific disaster, when we see a situation like this where the fire is slowly burning across the yard to the house, we get out our shovels or gloves and we start working to make a fire line. We're gonna try our best to smother this fire so it stops burning towards this house, the current situation in their community. This is a structure fire. What homeowners can do right now, anyone that lives in any forest around the world, if you live in a wood house and you live in the forest, please just practice defensible space. The fire started crossing the road, and all of the emergency personnel and the firefighters could not even make their way through, so they all spun around. And I am working on this public service announcement. This is something that I am really not in the mood to do. This video recording, I wish that I could put off to another time. As desperate as I have tried over the years to get this information out to people, it seems like no one's listening. All of these chemicals, all the toxins, everything that's in someone's house is now in the atmosphere that I'm breathing in. The firefighters, the first responders, the paramedics, the police officers, the veterinarians and animal control, PG&E workers, utilities, the water tender truck drivers, the bulldoze operators are now breathing in everything from these homes. Not just the atmospheric chemicals and pollution, but we don't have enough wattles, those things that collect and absorb all of the toxins from these homes before it washes into the nearest creek, waterway, the reservoirs where we usually get our water, and eventually, most of the time, out to the ocean, where we're already seeing ecosystem disruptions around the world. So not only does it cause atmospheric pollution, it's also causing environmental pollution. Excluding those forms of pollution, it's also creating heat, which is putting and pumping more heat up into the atmosphere, which is supplementing anthropogenic global warming, just as all of these greenhouse gases going into the atmosphere and all the methane and everything that's released. It's part of the positive feedback loops that are already spiraling out of control. Because this is not the last fire. We are seeing increases in greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, increases in global temperatures. We're seeing more heat waves around the world. Instead of blaming PG&E for down power lines or not cutting tree branches, instead of blaming the mismanagement of the forest or chemtrails and geoengineering and all of these other things, I just wish more people that are living in the forest, in a wood house in the forest, take the moral responsibility and individual initiative to practice defensible space around their properties.